Hey, what's good, YouTube? This is David the Magic Negro Show. What I wanted to do is I wanted to follow up on a video that I did, not too long ago called, having to do with this particular apostolic letter. So I just want to go ahead and read it to you now. Apostolic letter. Now, this is a letter from the Pope. This is also for Bro Sanchez. This is for Black Jesus. This is for Lex Vortex. I'm going to make sure that you brothers, get this message. I know sometimes I can sound kind of bland. It's because I do music. So Lex Vortex, you can probably understand that, you kind of speak through your music. So that's me right there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That happened in 2003, playing Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? Right? Where words fail, music speaks. And also the Kabbalah, we got to throw that in there. The Son of Man. Don't trip. All right, so apostolic letter issued Motu Proprio by the Supreme Pontiff Francis, Summa Familiae Cura, instituting the Pontiff John Paul II Theological Institute for Matrimonial and Family Service. Inspired by his great care for the family, St. John Paul II, following up the Synod of Bishops of 1980 on the family and the post-synodal apostolic exhortation Familias Consortio of 1981 with the apostolic constitution Magnum Matrimoni Sacramentum conferred stable legal form to the pontifical John Paul II Institute for Studies on Marriage and Family, working at the Pontifical Lateran University. Since then, it has carried out fruitful work in theological study and pastoral formation, both in its central campus in Rome and in its extra-urban sections, now present on all continents. More recently, the Church has taken a further synodal journey, again placing at the center of attention the situation of marriage and the family. Firstly, the extraordinary assembly in 2014 dedicated to the pastoral challenges of the family in the context of evangelization. And then in the ordinary assembly of 2015 on the vocation and the mission of the family in the church and in the world. The climax of this intense journey was the post-synodal apostolic exhortation Amoris Laetitia, published on 19 March 2016. This synodal season has led the Church towards a renewed awareness of the gospel of the family and of the new pastoral challenges to which the Christian community is called upon to answer. The centrality of the family in the past of pastoral conversion, one of our communities, and of missionary transformation of the Church, two, demands that also at the level of academic formation, in reflection on marriage and on the family, the pastoral perspective and attention to the wounds of humanity must never be lacking. if a fruitful examination of pastoral theology cannot be conducted, neglecting the special ecclesial profile of the family. 3. Likewise, that same pastoral sensibility must take into account the valuable contribution of thought and reflection that examine in the deepest and most rigorous way the truth of the revelation and wisdom of the tradition of faith in view of its better comprehension at the present time. The welfare of the family is decisive for the future of the world and that of the church. We do well to focus on concrete realities, since the calls and demands of the Spirit resound in the events of history. And though these, the church, can also be guided to a more profound understanding of the inexhaustible mystery of marriage and the family. Anthropological, cultural change that today influences all aspects of life and requires an analytic and diversified approach does not permit us to limit ourselves to practices in pastoral ministry and mission that reflects forms and models of the past. We must be informed and impassioned interpreters of the wisdom of faith in a context in which individuals are less well supported than in the past by social structures and in their emotional and family life. With the clear purpose of remaining faithful to the teaching of Christ, we must therefore look with the intellect of love and with wise realism at the reality of the family today in all its complexity, with its lights and its shadows. 5. For these reasons, I have considered it timely to give a new legal disposition to the John Paul II Institute, so that the far-sighted intuition of St. John Paul II, who strongly wanted this academic institution today, may be better recognized and appreciated its fruitfulness and timeliness. 6. Therefore, I have decided to institute a theological institute for matrimonial and family service, broadening its fields of interest both in relation to the new dimensions of the pastoral task and of the ecclesial mission, and with reference to developments in the human sciences and in anthropological culture, in a field so fundamental for the culture of life. Article 1. With the present Motu Proprio, 1. Institute the Pontifical John II Theological Institute for Matrimonial and Family Science, which linked to the Pontifical Lateran University succeeds and substitutes the Pontifical John Paul II Institute for Studies on Marriage and Family, established by the Apostolic Constitution, Magnum Matrimoni Sacramentum, which thus comes to an end. It will therefore be essential that the original inspiration that gave life to the former Institute for Studies on Marriage and Family continue to bear in the broader field of activity on the new Theological Institute, effectively contributing to making it correspond fully to the current demands on the pastoral mission of the Church. Article 2. The new institute shall constitute within the range of the pontifical institutes an academic center of reference in the service of the mission of the universal church in the field of sciences regarding marriage and the family, and with regard to themes connected to the fundamental covenant of man and woman for the care of generation and creation. Article 3. The special relationship of the new theological institute with the ministry and the teaching of the Holy See will be further enhanced by the privileged relation that it will establish in forms to be mutually agreed with the Congregation for Catholic Education, with the dicastery of the laity, the family and life, and with the Pontifical Academy for Life. Article 4, Section 1. The Pontifical Theological Institute, thus renewed, will adapt its own structures and use the necessary tools, professorships, lecturers, programs, administrative staff to carry out the scientific and ecclesial mission entrusted to it. Section 2. The academic authorities of the Theological Institute are the Grand Chancellor, the Dean, and the Board of the Institute. Section 3. The Theological Institute has the faculty of conferring a jure proprio to its students the following academic qualifications: the doctorate in matrimonial and family services, the master's degree in matrimonial and family services, and the diploma in matrimonial and family services. Article 5. The provisions made herein shall be furthered and defined in the statutes approved by the Holy See. In a special way, the most suitable methods shall be sought to promote cooperation and comparison in the fields of teaching and research between the authorities of the Theological Institute and those of the Pontifical Lateran University. Article 6. Pending the approval of the new statutes, the Theological Institute shall be temporarily governed by the statutory regulations currently in force at the John Paul II Institute for Studies on Marriage and the Family, including its framework in the form of sections and the related norms, to ensure that they are not in conflict with the present Motu Proprio. Everything that I have decreed in this apostolic letter issued Motu Proprio must be observed in all its parts, notwithstanding anything to the contrary, even if it be worthy of particular mention. And I hereby decree that it be promulgated by publication in the daily L'Osservatore Romano, that it enter into force on the day of promulgation, and therefore be published in Acta Apostolicae Sedis, which that seems put it in your mind, given in Rome at St. Peter's on 8 September, the Feast of Nativity on the Blessed Virgin Mary, in the year 2017, the 5th of my pontificate. This is Pope Francis And there are his sources, because the man's using sources here. He's not messing around. So what this says is that everything y'all thought about marriage, it just got trashed. Bro Sanchez, you got to understand, you got to check out these Motu Proprios. I'm going to go ahead and get another video going where I'm going to go all the way back to the very first Motu Proprio that Pope Francis issued, because we got a good Pope, and we don't need nobody disrespecting him. And if somebody wants to disrespect Pope Francis, you're going to have to go through me, because I'm not even a Catholic. But I understand what El Papa is doing, all right? So if you don't understand what El Papa is doing, that means because you ain't reading. So, and that's where the black conscious community is a complete failure, because nobody's reading this stuff. The only people that are reading this stuff are Moors, all right? And you don't have to have your fez on or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You was born into this. It's like blood in, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't with that, what does it call it? Blood quantum. But what y'all know about that? But you know about the one drop. So just reverse engineer. It was blood quantum first. So yeah. So Pope Francis, thank you very much. Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo. Felima, thank you. And I do realize that you've done much more. And bro Sanchez, you got to get with me, bro, because, you know, you're real disrespectful only because you just don't have the information, because you can't really trust everybody. Because, you know, they're not really giving you all the information. But then again, you have to be trustworthy of the information. And the last video that I saw, I mean, man, it was almost 7 hours, and there's no way I can get through it all. But I did cut through it, and I did hear where you were talking to brother Lex Vortex, and I have talked to him before. And we got to have a powwow, y'all, because I don't know what I got to do. Do I got to get more exciting? Do I got to show you who I really am? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's easy. It's easy. I mean, I can do all that stuff. We can have a conversation to just talk, or do I got to really, you know, let this side out? I mean, it's really who I am too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so we can really get to this stuff done. And I'm not going to fight you. I mean, I got the face right here, but that's just that Cherokee and that Blackfoot. You know what I mean? Native American, straight up, man. That's what I am. Aboriginal, indigenous, man. You know, so I'm a Moor. And so if people want to question Moors, I mean, it's not easy being a Moor, because everybody is scared. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you ain't got no backup. It's like Tecumseh, you know, riding around trying to get the other tribes to hook up. And they're like, nah, we love our foreign trade. No, we love our foreign trade, because that's all you want, because everything was made in China. All right? So, bro Sanchez, you need to check yourself. Black Jesus, I apologize, because I didn't know that Marcus Garvey was pardoned by the Catholic Church. That was dope. They also did a lot of work for the Shoe Mash. The Shoe Mash are benefiting from some work the Catholic Church did. And I want to let everybody know that we can all benefit from the work that Pope Francis is doing right now. We just got to get behind him, and we got to see the signs. And this is going to include, and this might get some this might get some thumbs down, but you got to support Trump. If you've seen the Black Panther movie, who's the king? The Pope, His Majesty, Pope Francis, because that comes from what we had established, but what we disrespected, because we got too into foreign trade. We got into, you know, we were like, you know, like that movie, you know what I'm saying, that just came out, the Black Panther, you know. We were like that. We got jealous of each other, and we just destroyed each other. And so they're holding together what we can once again take possession of, because they do worship the Black Madonna. They go and kiss the feet 4 times a year. You know, that's a lot of times to go and just wear the damn color off the feet. Really. So, bro Sanchez, I mean, I feel really disrespected by you anyway. And I mean, I appreciate all the work you're doing, but you really sound really repetitive. And this is not competition. We just got to have an open debate, bro. You're wrong. So I probably shouldn't have put all this on the same video. But thank you, Pope Francis. And I'm fighting for you. Thank you.